Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's the return of the rumour mill. What's going on in your world? Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think to these rumours today? What do you think to the Leeds United team news? What do you think to all the things that we are discussing today? I always want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. The engagement and interaction, as always, everybody's on the up. Watch hours are on the up. Subscribers are on the up. So thank you so much for your ongoing support here at One Leeds HQ. Really appreciate it. Today, we're going to be speaking about everything surrounding Leeds. But before we get started, everybody, do me a favor. Please slap a like on the video. Not only that, but make sure you check out IPM Group UK, our sponsors for the season. Keep it in the Leeds United community, I should say. Everybody, Rick and the gang are massive Leeds United fans. And for all your CCTV and security needs, make sure you check in with those guys. Link in the description below. Also, football prizes. You know what to do, everybody. Big Christmas bundle. I think this week it's like a 35p or a 39p entrance to the raffle to win hospitality, shirts, all the good stuff. So make sure you check all that out. Okay, let's speak on your news today then. So we're going to start off with the team news because I think this is really important going into a congested period. Now, we've heard Daniel Farke speak after the game about the options that he has when it comes to Pascal Struijk and when it comes to Ethan Ampadu. Now, Pascal was a 50-50 chance for the weekend, and I think it was smart of Farke not to utilise him. I think the bio coming in would have been fine. It's a centre-back coming in. Farke's praised him a hell of a lot as well. But on the back of that, I think it's really important as well that Ampadu came in, played 90 minutes, not in my favourite position for him and not in his best position, but he played 90 minutes, which was really, really important because previously it had been 5 minutes, it had been 15 minutes, but now getting 90 minutes, match fitness is very different to being fit, match fitness under his belt, which is really, really good news. So the latest news around Pascal Struijk is he's on the bench, so he's fit. Verba on the bench, so they're fit. But you've got to be really meticulous in where to play them. And the good thing now is Leeds are pretty much, I think, set for an injury boost ahead of Stoke City. Verba had a knee injury, but should be back for that game on the 26th, which is good. They've obviously got a little bit of a rest now until that point. It is the 23rd on the day of recording. Obviously, Leeds finished the football game on the 21st, which gives them additional time as well. So it's a good rest period up until the 26th. Verba has really struggled with injury this season, but hopefully he's going to start getting going in the new year with a new lease of life, really, and he should be back for the Stoke City game. When it comes to Pascal, it feels like he's going to be back for that game as well. He could have risked him. He was okay to play, but that's what it is, according to Daniel Farke, who's okay to play in such a congested, busy period. Do you want Pascal Struijk going out there with a muscular injury, which he's previously had, and almost just forcing him into proceedings there? And what, guys, imagine if he picked something else up and then you got Pascal out for a large period of time. That is something that we did not want to happen, obviously. Okay, so the gauntlet being thrown down by Daniel Farke to Ramazani. Very interesting. Now, post the match, Farke was talking and essentially was saying to Ramazani, well, you've got to do what you've got to do now, mate. And I think Farke has done this quite well, I have to say. Generally, he did it a lot last season when it came to Rutter and when it came to Somerville in terms of trying to not get them too big for the boots. And I kind of understood it in a sense. At the time, I was maybe a little bit like, we want them to be exuberant. We want them to be trick bound. We want them to do all of these things of which shows them to be a superstar and the X factor at Leeds United. But Farke, I think, was just trying to keep them, on the ground. You keep them ready-made, a little bit humble, and say, look, we need you to play for the team here, not all the tricks and the fancy bits. But overall, that was how they expressed themselves. That was their game. So that's something that I always bit back on a little bit. But when it comes to Ramazani, he's saying, look, essentially you need to train at a level. I think he said that he's training right now, and I'm paraphrasing, isn't maybe at the level of which it was at, which is interesting. He said that to the press as well, but he came on at the weekend. Obviously, he had his chance with his half volley, the ball in by Bogle, which he fizzed wide, and the header, obviously, which is a really good save. But you saw as soon as Ramazani came on, I thought there was a little bit of a zip there. And it's interesting going into these two games that we've got coming up, because Solomon's been excellent. So Solomon deserves a start right now for me when you look at the meritocracy of it. But away from home, and you look at who's the best player, in my opinion, Ramazani is the best player in the team, So it's a really tough decision because football, and I always base it on a meritocracy for players doing X, Y, and Z pretty well. I think in the transition, he's been excellent. Solomon has been able to get us up the pitch. He's held the ball really well. Physically, he looks a lot better than what he did at the early part of the season. He looks fitter. And I think, he's brought a real variance in his play. He goes down that left a lot more and utilizes that left foot a lot more instead of just inverting all the time. So as I say, there's a variety to his play, which I really like. But Ramazani for me is the X factor. You know, he is just the best player in the team, in my opinion. It's probably between him, Nonto, and Tanaka technically. So that's an interesting one to look at. What's he going to do? He's got options there, but off that left-hand side, you've got Ramazani, who I think against Stoke and Derby would terrorise them. I genuinely believe his pace and his shot efficiency, which is key. Shot efficiency, because I think Leeds, when Leeds have been shooting away from home, I think it's been wild. I think it's been poor. I think the accuracy is something that Daniel Farke really needs to work on. I don't know if they're just almost getting the adrenaline of being in an away game is going beyond a point, and they experience catastrophe theory. I'm not sure. But it just doesn't feel like the calm and composed in those areas. And we know with Ramazani, usually off his left and off his right, away from home, he's been devastating. Away from home, Ramazani has been more effective in his short spell at Leeds than at home, in my opinion, in terms of performance. So that's something to take into consideration. But Solomon, I think away from home has been probably one of our best players as well when he's been on the pitch. So let me know in the comment section below what you do there. But the gauntlet has been thrown down. So, you know, you improve training and you get back to that level, and fair enough. But right now, I think he sees Solomon as his starter, and Solomon was his man. You know, he brought in Solomon. He wanted to bring in Solomon. So, you know, I think Farke's naturally going to back him a lot more as well. And he is more established. He's 25 years of age, of which, you know, Ramazani is a much younger winger, and he's got more to prove. But I do think as a football player, Ramazani is better than Solomon. But I think right now, if you're basing it on a meritocracy and if you're being fair, Solomon probably deserves to start. I just think in these games, what you have got to take into consideration, if you are Daniel Farke, is making those productive changes, those proactive changes very, very quickly. Okay, as you can see there, Manchester United revive Illan Meslier interest. Now, we've heard Meslier and Arsenal and Meslier and Man United. Now, Man United have a horrendous record when it comes to transfers, so looking at them would probably be a little bit more realistic. Arsenal with Arteta, would they put a small investment into Illan Meslier to get him off our hands? I don't think so. I think these are data-led clubs. They are top football establishments. I don't think they'd be looking at Illan Meslier's numbers now and thinking, yeah, we'll go in and bring him in as ex-player. You know, I get it with like the old English players, you know. I think they've had, you know, when you look at like Scott Carson, I'll use as an example, Tom Heaton, these goalkeepers, they don't really look at the numbers. They bring them in because they're a third goalkeeper. But I think when you're looking at Illan Meslier and his age, he's not just going to come in and want to play third fiddle at any club, really. So they've got to take that into consideration. Is he good enough for the top level? No, he's not, in my opinion. I think a lot of your guys as well. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a tough one to sell. I don't think it's realistic, but we have seen stranger things before. Okay, Leeds are linked with 11 million star as well. You can see that there, everybody. And this is Andrew Omobamidele. Now, on the channel 2 years ago, we mentioned Andrew Omobamidele as part of maybe a Farke recruitment plan. Why? I hear you say he's a centre-back who was played for Daniel Farke previously. He was a youngster at Norwich when Farke was there, and he looked absolutely extraordinary. I think Mike McGrath did a piece on him in the Telegraph and said he's exceptional. And I think it's a really, really, really nice little option for Leeds. Now, Murillo, Milenkovic, and Willy Boly are all ahead of him at Nottingham Forest. As in that period as well, Nottingham Forest got hold of him. Leeds were looking at him in the recent summer as a centre-back option. And I think if Verba is to leave, I think it's a really, really nice option for Leeds United there. He's a lovely player. He's physical. He's an athlete. But you do pose the question, if Omobamidele is to come to Leeds United, where does he fit? Where does he play? He's not going to be there. This is the whole problem with Max Verba. So it might be a realistic option. It might be one of those where you look at it and think, oh, that'd be a lovely option. He's, as I say, he's worth 11 million quid. He's a very decent player, stands at around 6'3", 6'4", very physical, would be a very good option. But with now loan players in that Fabio Carvalho sort of mold of, well, if I'm not playing, I'm just going to go to a maybe lesser club who will play me, and then I get the minutes, and then I get the big move, as Fabio Carvalho proved when he went to Brentford for 27 million off the back of his Hull City performances. Why would they come to Leeds United if they're not going to feature? This is the whole thing, and this is why it's going to be a difficult window for Leeds United to sell the project, because why would you come to Leeds if you're going to hit the bench? We've had problems with this before when it comes to the likes of Jed Spence. It's hitting the bench when they expect to play. So these are the big options and the big problems when it comes to Farke. Yes, we can talk about a central attacking midfielder. We can talk about a goalkeeper. But are they going to get minutes? That's the whole question now. And if Leeds have 3 loan spots available, you have to convince these players and these establishments that we're going into contact with that their players are going to play 100%. So their valuation goes up or something else, you know, their confidence goes up or whatever it is. They have to be loaned out with a certain purpose. And if Leeds are not filling that void, Leeds will not get any loans. So this is why it's key. I think rotation is almost an evidence, product. You turn around and say, look, we do rotate our players. We do give Manor Solomon time. We do this. We do that, I think that's key right now. So, yeah, guys, Omobamidele will be a lovely option. But if you've got Verba in the squad and Verba is not getting minutes and he's looking to move, which I think we all know he probably will be doing in January. But if he's looking to move, that's the reason. You've got Max Verba at championship level, which is very, very good and very, very impressive. But he's not going to stakes. He's not getting minutes. Now, would Andrew Omobamidele really come down from Nottingham Forest to come to Leeds United? Great little product, great little project, I should say. Get into the Premier League, and potentially Leeds might say, look, you'll be competing, but at the same time, you're not going to be starting. Is that going to be something that he's going to want to come to? I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And this is going to be Leeds' problem throughout this window for me. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think on all the things that we've spoken about today? Make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you subscribe and let me know your thoughts. I really appreciate it. Guys, it's been Connor on the Rumour Mill. It's been Connor Mill. Really appreciate your thoughts as always, guys. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And we will be back this evening with the debrief. Cheers.